Hi everybody, it's Jill Blanchett with Green Thumb Stampers. I'm here for my Christmas card night. You like my new hat? My friend Patty gave me a new hat, but I'm not exactly sure how to wear it because I know I don't have any hair. I got my hair cut really short, even shorter than normal, and so it doesn't really show, and I'm not exactly sure if I got it on right, but you know what? I don't care. It's my Christmas card night. I'm in a good festive spirit, and I just want to show you what I got going. So I appreciate you watching. I am pre-recording tonight because I'm gone. I'm going to Virginia to see my daughter for a couple days. Then I'm headed to New Orleans for the backstage event for Stampin' Up. Then I'm headed back to Washington for a couple more days, and then I'll be back here to pick back up with you guys. So I hope that you watch this. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on for you while I'm gone, and I will pick up when I get back. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned. The video's coming right up. Bye, everybody. All right, here we go, ho, 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 with our Christmas card for this month. I am off at the Stampin' Up! Backstage event, so I'm pre-recording this. We're going to make this card. It's just a real quickie. It uses the Brightest Glow stamp set for the words. I bought the bundle, so we have the LIghts Aglow paper, and boy, is this some neat paper. It's got a lot of sparkle going on. I'm just kind of flipping real quick so you can see some of the designs. And it has a die set called LIghts Aglow, and I've used that to create this circle back here, and there's a straight edge die that does these dots. Pretty much all the stuff, all these will make the holes. So this will make a swirly set of holes on your paper, a circle, a snowflake, this other strip of snowflakes. Those will all make these holes in the paper so that you could see the paper underneath. So let's get started. I've got a cherry cobbler base that is 8.5 by 5.5. And we're going to fold it to make it at 4 1/4. I'm going to use Very Vanilla, and I'm going to cut that to on the 1/4 inch, or the 1/8 of an inch, sorry. So we're going to cut it at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And that is going to be our layer underneath the blue or the red circles that I chose. That is on the 1/4 mark. So we've got 4 by 5 1/4. Then we are going to cut our strips for the sides. I'm using Crystal Minkler's design again for this month, and I'm not really altering it too much. So I've got a 1 inch piece to go on the up and down, and so I'm going to show you, I'm going to cut it over here. I'm going to show you also that I'm going to cut this paper so that this piece goes up and down. Then I want these loops to go the same direction. So I'm going to turn my paper and cut it again at 1 inch, and then this piece will, the loops will go in the same direction. And then this is 4, so we want this to go all the way across the base. So that's 4. We want this to go up and down just on the red, so we're going to cut that one at 5 1/4. And then I have 2 pieces of the Very Vanilla to layer it on, and I'm going to do those at 1 1/8. by 5 1/4. I can't wait to be online again and tell you guys about this Stampin' Up gig that I'm on this week. So I'm actually at Reed's as well. My daughter's, I went to see her before backstage, and then I will go and see her on Sunday after backstage. So I'm cutting that at 4 wide because we want it just to go across. Alright, now that we have these pieces cut for our base, we can go ahead and prepare this next layer here. So we're going to use, I'm going to get ahead. We're going to use this piece of the paper, and I've got a large circle die. I'm going to run through my die cut machine. Okay, so I've got my die laid on here, and I'm trying to just eyeball that I got it even. Kind of want to make sure I'm cutting out the circle as evenly as I can without being too crazy particular. So we've got that. I'm going to cut the red circle out of the paper. So we've got that part done. Then we are going to take this dotted frame, and I'm going to cut out of the center of our front panel. We're going to use that. So we're going to run this dotted piece through. I'm moving everything around, sorry. See, now we've got our dots on there. And then I'm going to use that same die again, and I'm going to cut that circle out. Again, kind of eyeballing it, doing the best that I can to make sure I'm kind of cutting it even. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at these big circles on the outside just to look at how much of each circle is showing, using that as a guide that maybe I've got it on there straight. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Alright, so now we've got our circle cut out. And we use the front of our card panel because we're going to cover it up. So now we can go ahead and stick that on here. Glue that down, and then we're going to glue our base over the top. So hold on while I do that. Okay, since I decided to show you how I was cutting this out, that took up more time, so now I went ahead and glued my pieces all on so that you didn't have to wait while I did all that. So I'm going to I glued the layers together, and now we're just going to glue them onto the front. And just, it's a personal preference of where you want to layer them at. If you want them higher, lower, closer to the edges. But I'm putting that one just a smidge in from the right. And then this one I'm going to put a little bit lower because I did not. I guess I can pick it up a little bit higher. That wasn't really much higher, but we're going to go there with it. And then now we've got this big circle that we can pop up on the front. I need to go through the die brush and get these little pieces out, so I will do that. See all these little pieces? I didn't clean the die before I did the video, so a lot of them stayed stuck in this panel, but they will pop out. You can pick them out. You can use your die brush on your pick tool and roll them out. But if your dies are clean when you start, they should all come out of the die. But you can get your little roller, your die brush out and just roll across it, and then that should loosen them up the rest of the way and pick them out of there for you. You can roll across your die with the die brush, and that will also help get these little buggers out of there. You can see. So they will come out better if you have the die clean when you start. Alright? And so now I'm going to get my embossing buddy out, and I'm going to rub it across my dark red cherry cobbler piece. And I got those little flinklets everywhere. So as you know, you want to rub the embossing buddy around on something that you're going to heat emboss, so that it keeps the oils from your hands and such from soaking into your paper. So I've put my embossing buddy on there, and I'm going to use the stamp Wishing You a Season of Hope and Light. And I'm going to stamp that down in Versamark. Now this is a red rubber stamp, so I do not need my foam underneath me. So I'll make sure I'm over here. Stamp that down. And then I've got some gold embossing powder that my mom gave me, so I'm going to put that on there. Pretty sure Stampin' Up! Still sells gold, but I got this mirror gold from my mom. And then we're going to heat emboss that, so let me go do that. Alrighty, I got that heat embossed on there. Pretty, pretty. And then we are going to layer that. Wait a minute, how'd my circle get too small? What the heck? That's the one that I used this time. That's the one that I used on my original. You know what? I used a smaller one for my red. So I'll pause you again for a couple seconds while I figure out which die I used. I measured that, and that one, well, I didn't measure it right. Hang on. I went and found a smaller die, and I did not use the one that was, this one's even smaller than this one, because I like the smaller very vanilla border, so I'm leaving it with this one that I used because I like the look way better. So yay. So I'm going to glue that on there. And then I popped it up over here in the corner. It's one of my Gigundus dimensionals. Actually, I think I'm going to use two because it didn't look as sturdy on there as I want it to. So we're going to stick that here in the corner. Like that. Now you could add some more gems, jewels, a ribbon. I think that this bling here with this pretty swag is enough. And so then for the inside, I've got a 4 1/4 or 4 by 5 1/4 piece of very vanilla, and we are going to run it through the die cut machine with this edge die. So whenever possible, these bigger dies, I like to, or anything like longer, I like to run it through from end to end versus like sideways, because it doesn't always give me the best of impression or cut when I've cut it off like that, when it's just the short roll through the rollers. If you can go like this where you go the long way, you just seem to get a much better cut from it. So just going to eyeball that on there. We're going to put our top plate on. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to roll it through. And you just get so much, you get a longer space of pressure to get that done with. Cut that out. So again, we've got all those little flinklets in there. That we can get our roller brush. These are some messy Bessies. Holy cannolis. Okay. And then I'm just going to glue that inside, and I put it at the bottom down here. We could put it at the top so that it looks like they're coming down. And I think I'll do that with this one. I'll put it at the top. I do find this, all these holes, is going to be hard for me to glue over. So maybe if you use liquid glue, I did, you know, you saw me try and go over that a little bit to see if that'll stick down. But if you use some liquid glue, you got better control over where the glue is going to go. So I got a lot in those little holes. I hope it's not going to cause any issues. We shall see. If I take my goober getter and I just run it across there, it might pull it out of those holes so that nothing else is going to stick to it in there. So that did work. That worked pretty good to pull that out of there. So that's my solution to my little issue here, is to just run this adhesive remover over it, and it's pulling them right out of those holes. So we are good. And that is our Christmas card for August, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed my video. I thank you for watching, and I'll be back again. Take care, everybody.